I'm not supportive.
I've watched this one. He stops over there at his mule sometimes. You know, he's riding around the neighborhood.
Oh, I know he's not riding that mule around there, right?
I had to go check my phone.
Oh, I mean his little AT, his little
Yeah, I had to go check my notes every
his
day.
ATV, his ATV.
Yeah, I do, should be, I go check my donkeys every day.
We've had those donkeys.
That article has been, you can write it anyway for like. Yeah, that's right.
I know. He's one of the good ones. I'm not reporting him for anything. Other
Yeah.
than ruling up and down women on the street. He don't know where it is.
Cut me too low.
I would disagree, but
Did you get a new car?
that's the one they bought for me. $160,000. This is the-
I used to work for Otis Elevator.
Come up to somebody's side, got here, then over the road all the time.
Okay.
Well, you know, again, we're a small town. You go for it if you can.
God bless you.
I'll take it.
Scott's a good guy.
He's got his days.
He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, Duggar?
Yeah, Duggar was my great uncle.
Who's your dad?
My dad was Mike Thomas and my mother was Linda Cox. Yeah, Linda.
Okay, who's your grandpa?
Charles, and then Charlie was my uncle.
Okay. Yeah, that, my dad was a good friend of mine. His name's Dad worked on the street. Machinist over the company.
Okay.
Had both.
Yeah. Everybody makes a complaint. He come in there and James Gillum, everybody calls him Creed, right, works there, right, and I have been introduced to through Creed.
I did get mine.
Right. Dad left us about a year and a half ago. Yeah. Mom left us about, I don't know, first year. Used to work at the bank.
Yeah.
That was my mom.
Lord, I never heard.
Yeah, she left us, December was 5 years for her, and it'll be 6 years this December, Dad's been done 2 years this December.
If I don't,
Well, I'm kidding. Just think about last month. And then we just buried my brother, Eddie, Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, 59 years old.
Okay,
Just the 4 of us.
turn it on. Come to order, have a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for your blessings upon us. Be with us as we go through our meeting today. And we thank you for all the people that's served in the service. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
City clerk will read the minutes of the last regular meeting.
The regular monthly meeting of the City of McCaysville Mayor and Council was held on Tuesday, October 14, 2014, with Mayor Thomas Seabolt presiding. Council members present: Larry Collis, Richard Wagner, Rusty Wittenberger, and Tommy Quintrell. Council members absent: Charles W. Pittman. Visitors were Glenn Harbison with the News Observer, Larry Bennett, Police Chief Lewis Allen, Thelma Capone, Greg Capone, Edward Massengale, and Jerry Williams. Mayor Seabolt opened the meeting with prayer. The minutes from the regular meeting on September 9, 2014 was read by the city clerk. On a motion by Councilman Quintrell and a second by Councilman Wittenberger, the minutes were accepted as read with none opposed. The city clerk read an ordinance of the McCaysville, Georgia City Council to amend the city charter, Section 2.26, and other purposes. After the reading of the ordinance, Mayor Seabolt opened the floor for public discussion. Ed Massengale asked the mayor and council members who had presented the ordinance to the council. Mayor Seabolt said that the city attorney had suggested the change be made to bring the city up to date. Mr. Massengale continued by saying that according to the charter, that only a council member could present an ordinance and that it had to be in the exact form that it was to be adopted. The city attorney, Courtney Stewart, addressed Mr. Massengale's concerns about the copy of the ordinance recorded in the Superior Court Clerk's office being a draft copy. She told Mr. Massengale that a copy had to be recorded in the clerk's office prior to the adoption of the ordinance. She continued by advising the mayor and council to make the presentation now. Councilman Wittenberger presented the ordinance reference to paragraph 3 of these minutes to the mayor and stated that it was the same ordinance that had just been read by the city clerk and stated that it was in the form to be adopted and not a draft. Mayor Seabolt stated that a second reading would take place at the next regular meeting. Councilman Quintrell suggested that a vote be taken for the first reading approval. Mayor Seabolt entertained said motion. On the motion by Councilman Wittenberger and a second by Councilman Wagner, the council voted unanimously to approve the first reading of the ordinance to amend section 2.26 of the city charter. Councilman Quintrell presented a request to purchase bulletproof vests for the police department. He stated that the chief already had one and that they will need to purchase 4. On a motion by Councilman Wittenberger and a second by Councilman Wagner, the purchase was approved with none opposed. Councilman Wagner reported that the water treatment plant was still moving along and that the clear well had yet to be tested. He said the SCADA electronics were being installed and he expects them to be finished shortly after Thanksgiving. Thelma Capone addressed the mayor and council about the Shop with a Cop program. She explained that last year was the first year for their program here. She stated that 30 children were taken on a shopping trip last year with $100 per child and that 12 families were fed Christmas dinner through the program. She expressed gratitude to the city for their generous donation last year and thanked Lewis Allen by saying that they could not have done it without him and his efforts. She stated that the shopping day this year has been set for December 13th and said that police officers and firemen in uniform escort the children out on the shopping trip. Ms. Capone said their goal was to help 50 children this year. Edward Massengale addressed the council with questions pertaining to the water and sewer, the demolition of houses, and the walls. He asked if anyone knew where the water meter to Copper Hill was located. He then asked what the charge was for water going to Copper Hill and asked if there was a legal agreement for the water purchase, to which Councilman Wagner answered yes. Mr. Massengale next asked where the sewer meters were located. Councilman Wagner told Mr. Massengale the locations. Mr. Massengale then asked if any of Copper Hill's sewage enters those meters. The city clerk stated that Copper Hill does subtract an amount from the totals each month. Councilman Wagner stated that he would find out how they do that. Mr. Massengale stated that he did not think they had a way to separate the sewage going into the meters. Massengale also asked if the city had an agreement with the city of Copper Hill for sewer treatment. Councilman Wagner answered to all of Massengale's questions about the water and sewer. Mr. Massengale then began questioning the council about the demolitions. He asked how much the city had paid for it. Mayor Seabolt said only lawyer fees. Mayor Seabolt told Massengale that the owners had paid for the demolition on their own. Massengale questioned the council about the walls that are being built. Councilman Wittenberger responded to his questions with answers about the reason for building and the total number of walls built, as well as that the walls were being paid for out of SPLOST funds. Massengale asked if the property owners are contributing to the payment for the walls, and when Councilman Wittenberger answered no, Massengale asked why. Wittenberger tried to explain that the walls were in the city right-of-way and that it would be unfair to ask them to pay for the walls. Mayor Seabolt interrupted Massengale's questions by stating that all of this back and forth could go all night. Councilman Wittenberger stated that he would continue to work on improving the street with walls until the mayor and council told him to stop. Mayor Seabolt then told Massengale he was cutting off public comments. Mayor Seabolt entertained a motion to adjourn the regular meeting and go into executive session to meet with the city attorney about pending litigation. On a motion by Councilman Quintrell and a second by Councilman Wagner, the regular meeting was closed with Councilman Collis voting in agreement by raising his hand and Councilman Wittenberger voting in agreement by raising his hand. Councilman Pittman was not present at the meeting.
Do I hear a motion that we accept the minutes as read by the city
I
clerk.
make a motion to accept them as read.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, one other thing, I need a motion to approve the executive session. That
Make a
will
motion.
not be read.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Hear that. Under new business, wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need a motion to pay the bills. That's the main thing.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Pay the bill. Now, under new business, ordinance to amend the charter, and I'm gonna make a statement that proper procedure had been followed and that the vote taken at last month's meeting was proper and that the amendment was voted to be adopted. Is that all I need to do?
As I understand from Courtney, everything we did was correct.
That's correct.
So
And it was read twice.
it was read twice, so it's on the record, approved. We are free to tell her to do what she has to do. She files a copy of Superior Court and all of that. Okay, fine.
Take care of that part. Now, item 2 under new business, some of the city employees have asked for 2 more holidays to be included on the 7 that's currently on the, that they have now. And, that's up to the council to approve or disapprove. They want the day after Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, which would make 9 paid holidays.
May I have the floor a minute, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Adding to that, if we could, as you see today, we have a lot of the county officials here because the courthouse is closed today on Veterans Day. We have a veteran sitting right down there that we need to honor, along with the other people here. We said in a council meeting on Veterans Day. I think we need to add Veterans Day to those 2 days, if at all possible.
Well, I'm open to whatever the council wants to vote on. If I hear
I make a motion, we add those 2 days as for plus Veterans Day.
do I hear a second?
I'll second. Why not?
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? None. Okay. So it was 3 holidays is added. That takes care of that. Now, under old business, shop with the cop. I'll entertain a motion that we do the same as we done last year.
Make a motion, we do 5 as things last year.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, that gets rid of that.
Who made that second?
I did.
All right, and item 2 under that, I need a motion and a second to verify that we killed the pay raise that was asked for.
Yeah, I talked to the city attorney, and what we did at the meeting when we decided not to do that, we tabled that motion. She said, that doesn't end it. What you got to do is officially have a vote and vote no. So I make a motion on this previous issue of the suggested pay raise that we, make a motion we vote on that.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor of killing it?
Of killing it or not, vote no?
Vote no.
Vote no.
Vote no. Okay. Take care of that. All right. I'm gonna open up public comments now, and Ann Moffitt with Habitat for Humanity is on the agenda right now. You have the floor, ma'am.
Let me interrupt. I have known Madam Moffitt longer than either of us like to admit. I've known Ann Moffitt before Dale and I got married, and she's been a very, very dear friend. She called me and said, could I have a little bit of you and maybe one of your councilmen and mayor's time to discuss a possibility of Habitat for Humanity participating with the city? So we met, And it was me and Larry Collis and the mayor, and Bill Simons was kind enough to join us. And with that, I'll let Ann tell us what happened.
Some exciting news. Yes. Well, let's see, may I come over here?
Yes.
First of all, I'm excited about being here, and Habitat was fortunate enough to bring 2 consultants here, and you all met them as they came. One came from California, and one came from Habitat International. We were looking at the entire area. We traveled all around and looked at LJ, we looked at Blue Ridge, in hopes of getting a neighborhood revitalization organization going for this area. And they voted, thank goodness, to concentrate here in McCaysville, which I'm thrilled, because we have a lot of housing that needs some help. It's my honor today to introduce my president, Rick Woody. Come on up, Rick. You can share this phone. Rick knows far more than I would ever know about Habitat, and he has been our construction manager for how many houses?
6.
Yeah. And I'm sure you all have some questions that you might want to ask Rick.
As I understand it, everybody knows that you folks build houses for people.
That's right.
What I didn't know was that you have a new program to rehab existing houses.
Yes.
Like if somebody needs insulation, like if somebody needs replacement windows for more heating efficiency, you'll also do that.
Yes.
And you're gonna do it here.
Yes.
In the case.
Yeah, Habitat's main goal in the beginning was to build homes for families. And I think when the economy turned, there was less homes, less families able to qualify. So they came up with a program called NRI, which is a National Revitalization Program. And there's 3 parts of that program, which is winterization. It's like you talked about. It's insulation, storm windows, caulking, that type of thing. Then they have another program called Brush with Kindness, which if the homes need painting on the outside, that falls under that program. And then they have the third program, or part of that program, is called critical repair, which would entail repairing on roofs or siding or soffits or floors, different types of things. So there's a 3-step process or 3-step phase of this program. And our affiliate is only one of 4 affiliates that have been granted this program. We're kind of like the poster child. It's new to Habitat International. And so we've had the opportunity and the funds to come in and try to help. And in April of this year, I went down to Macon to a conference. And Macon, of course, is a larger city. And I toured this revitalization program where they actually have neighborhoods, they have blocks, and seen it in action. And they took basically some slum areas and revitalized them. The families have to help on the program, but it really brought the community together. And when International granted us this to do, they didn't understand that we're in a rural area and we don't have those neighborhoods. And so that was the reason them coming up from Atlanta, California to see what we were working with. And fortunately, they came to McCaysville and seen that this is in the city like what they were really structured this program for. So we're excited, hopefully to work with everyone here, the council, mayor, council, and do what we can to do our part to help out.
One thing we did not mention is that, and we've been very fortunate, the Ridge Church in Blue Ridge is going to offer to partner with us in doing a lot of, they have young members, and in doing a lot of the construction. And that is big time for us, since I'm sorry to say most of us have white hair and, you know, on our board, so that puts a limit to what we can do sometimes. But we work on the other end, don't we?
Yes.
That we'll give them the money if they'll get out there and help us.
Great.
but you might mention payback part of it too,
Okay, you want to talk about?
if you don't mind.
Yeah, a lot of misconception on habitat is, and we have this every time we try to find a family, is they think it's a free home. Well, it's not a free home, but it's as close to a free home as you could probably get. What it is an interest-free loan. And Habitat holds the mortgage. Each affiliate holds the mortgage for that family. The homes vary in cost. It depends on what's donated, how much labor is donated. So you don't actually know the cost until it's finished. But then the payments are based, interest-free, anywhere from a 15-year note to a 35-year note, depending on what the family can afford to do. But they do make monthly payments. We do escrow the taxes and insurance out of their monthly payments, because we are basically the mortgage holder. And that way we know that the insurance is paid, the taxes are paid. And after the mortgage there's actually kind of a two-part. There's a first mortgage and a second mortgage. And what that is, the first mortgage is the total principal of what the house costs. The second mortgage is the equity that's in the house. A lot of the times when you build one, you have so much stuff donated, so much labor, you'll have considerable amount of equity in a home. And what that protects, it keeps the homeowner from flipping the house and making money off of everybody's good heart and donations. That second mortgage is forgivable. If they're current at their anniversary every year, then a portion of that second mortgage is forgivable. And if they go the term of their mortgage, then it's completely gone. So all they're paying is principal. But it's their duty and obligation to make their payments on time. So the NRI program is very similar to that. It's, we, as an affiliate, we set a dollar amount that we were going to spend on each project. Now that doesn't include things that we do have, stuff that we have donated, so that's additional to the fees that we had set, or the amount we had set. But it again is a payback program. The family has to work on it, they have to qualify for it, and then they'll do a payback of whatever the amount is and what they can afford on it. And so that's part of the program. And then I wasn't able to make the meeting that Ann made. I wished I could have, but I understand that some of the homes that are being condemned and tore down, Habitat would be very interested in working with the city on that and hopefully building some new homes here. And we're totally funded by ourselves through donations. We have a Restore in Blue Ridge that is our biggest contributor. And we have to get the money up before we start the house. So we're a small affiliate, and we don't get to build a house every year like some of the larger affiliates, or even more. But the theory behind Habitats, the more families you have paying in, that makes you grow faster to build another one. So it kind of starts snowballing. But as it is right now, we only have 7 families that we have mortgage or home mortgages for, but that's just the way you start it. So we're kind of excited about working over here in McCaysville for several reasons. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are excited about this.
All right. I appreciate you being here very much. Now, I believe the next one on the agenda is Greg Painter wants to talk to us about something.
I was not prepared. I didn't know, I was not aware of this till yesterday about 6 o'clock, and the courthouse was closed today. My dad, down on Broadway Street, he owned a farm, small farm. And years ago, he put 1.5 acres of land in the city so he could get city water, and garbage pickup, and police protection. Yesterday, my sister-in-law went up to pay their part of the taxes, and she said it's all been put in the city, 32 acres. When was this supposed to happen?
That's new.
I had somebody call yesterday, and I told her she'd have to contact the county because we had
We had nothing
We
to
don't
do with
assess,
that.
we don't do any of that.
It's never been brought up here.
No.
Well, they said it's in the city. It's in the city limits now.
But I'm saying,
Okay, what I'm asking the council, will the council help me kind of find out what's going on? And when it was put in the city, if it was put in the city?
Sure.
yeah, we.
My niece and them built a house on the backside of the farm in 2008. And Mickey Galloway had run the water line so far because he built a subdivision. And then Mike Weaver built a couple of homes and he took the water line on down himself. And they told them that they could tie on to the city water, but they'd have to buy a meter. So they did, $1,500 for a meter, but they told them that they would not be eligible for garbage pickup or sewer because it was not the city. So now, theirs is in the city.
How many acres are you saying now?
It was about 32 total. It was supposed to be an acre and a half. Dad put acre and a half, the house and an acre and a half in the city years ago. Tommy probably remembers.
It's never been discussed since in the
Well, it's on the
three.
city limit map now. And that she got, on her part, she got a tax bill for city taxes, McCaysville city taxes.
Oh, you're talking about the border of the city being moved.
Yeah, being annexed in
No.
to the city.
We'd have.
I didn't
You know
get,
anything about that?
me and my brother split the farm, and I did not get a city tax bill, but they did.
But we'll
I'm just
just,
trying to find out if
yes,
it's,
we'll just have to check on it, but we'll have an answer for you hopefully by the next meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's all I asked. Thank y'all.
All right. I'll open up the floor for any other public comment. Yes, sir?
I was made to understand that when they tore those houses down up on Collis, or up on Colton Street, that those things were to be leveled, clean, and kept clean. Have you been up there lately?
I have been up there, I know what you're talking
There is
about.
one heck of a mess. And when they took some of the houses down, there's, what used to be the basement is now getting loaded with trash.
We're gonna get into that, just bear with us, we got the houses down, now we got to do something with Leroy dumping garbage on the home place, that's the home place where he's
Right,
dumping.
that
I know
trailer-
that.
That trailer up there,
That trailer, the church done that.
yeah, but they didn't do what's done to it now.
No, but they put it up there.
They've got all that trash around it now,
And,
an old truck loaded with garbage and stuff.
We're gonna have to work on it, but I can't promise you how soon we'll get it done. We have to go through legal channels. Anybody else?
Quite a big crowd I've ever seen.
Okay. Then, we get down to the last item, mayor, council, member reports or motions or business. Anybody got on the council say anything?
Water plant work is going just fine. I had something else, and I can't remember what it was. Very pleased though with the work that all the guys are doing. They still tell me they're gonna finish right after Thanksgiving. I don't believe it, but that's what they say. They're almost 100% done outside. They're gonna be doing inside work and replacing filters, and then we're done. And we used to have a 70,000 gallon clear well. We now have a 380,000 gallon clear well. And it's really, really helping, making the system work a whole lot better, particularly when it rains. When it rains hard and the river gets muddy. I might have those numbers wrong, but it's well up over 300,000 gallons now.
Anybody else got anything?
I do, Mayor. Sorry to have to turn it back to you, but I gotta address the council first, if you would, please. I'm handing you guys out is a statement that I had written out. This is the personnel situation. And I'm not gonna let to go into executive session unless you guys want to. We told you somebody else to make the motion. I'm fully aware and able to proceed with what you've got for you. If you like, if you missed read that, be free to do that, and I'll stand aside until you do read that. And if you got any questions, I'll be glad to answer anything that you got. Like I say, this is a personnel issue, and I'm prepared to, in open forum, move forward, or we can go to executive session, whichever you guys, again, would like to do, but I'm not gonna make the motion.
Rusty, I think a personal issue belongs in executive session.
It's not,
You
no
can't,
personnel.
personnel issue. Personnel issue belongs in executive session.
Okay.
You can't do executive session if the city attorney is not with you.
I talked to her this afternoon, she elected not to be here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said she was not a hiring, firing body of this council, and she was not gonna be here.
Well, I'll make a statement. I don't think we need an executive session, and as far as firing and hiring, I'm not qualified to fire and hire nobody.
Nobody said anything about hiring and firing. I'm asking you to look at the statement.
I've read this statement.
Okay, you've already read it.
I've read it.
Okay, you've read the statement. You know what's in it.
I know what's in it. I know.
If we're here to move forward with some kind of litigation for or against, you have the authority to put me under oath, and anybody else is going to present any evidence in this situation. I've given Mr. Quintrell, and I've given you ample time to deal with the situation.
Well, I'm not gonna deal with
I've
the
got
situation.
the floor.
All right.
Excuse me. I've got the
Okay,
floor.
go ahead.
I came to you and Tommy last council meeting. I had a meeting with you before the council meeting on the same issue. You stick your head in the sand and you're hoping it's gonna go away, fellas, but it's not. I'm human. I have rights. I have feelings. I will be heard one way or the other. It doesn't matter. If it happened to one of you guys, I have to ask you, what would you expect out of me? If it happened to you, what would you expect out of me?
You've got the floor. When you get down, I'll say my piece.
Let's go through. And we're here on the situation with the city worker being on the ladder, unsafe. 4 questions for liability. Who ordered the detail? Who put the man up there? Okay? Who was overseeing the man at the time? Nobody. Where did the accident occur? What happened in front of the city hall, by the police department. Who would be held named responsible party in the situation? Everybody involved. Everybody involved. So, with that being said, liability was established, so. I mean, it is what it is, guys. It happened in front of that man right there, and he knows it. So, I don't understand what the problem is. Why we gotta have an issue in front of all these people when it had been handled, and you know how it had been handled before. Simple and plain. Step up and do the right thing. That's all I ask you to do. Each and every one of you. Because if it happened to you, what do you expect out of me? It's not fair. It ain't right. I'm a council member elected by these people in the city, this county. As he was, and the mayor, Mr. Wagner. There is no chain of command in the city council. There is no boss in the city council except for the city mayor. I don't answer to Tommy. this man here, this man here, or this man here. We collectively govern this town with the direction of the mayor. And you, mayor, elected to stick your head in the sand and not get involved. You're the mayor of this town. You have the right and the duty to be the leader, as I read the charter. So I don't know what you expect me to do or how you expect me to handle it. I've done it every way I know possible. Every way possible. Before tonight, had you read this?
Yes.
Had you read this? Had you read this?
Yes.
Had you read this? Okay. So you were privileged somehow with this information, which is fine, it doesn't matter. But I ask you again, I ask you to be fair, impartial, and do the right thing. It's your duty to do so. If it happened to you, you don't have to question what I would have done, what my statement would be, what my action would be. Step up and do the right thing, folks, is all I ask you to do. It's not going to go away. We can deal with it now, we can deal with it later. It really doesn't matter. But I'm going to be heard, one way or the other. So, ball's in your court.
Are you done?
And I'm sorry that you didn't know about this. You should have been. You shouldn't have been.
Probably my own fault.
So do you have any questions of me?
No, when you're through, I'll make my statement. I don't have no questions of it.
I'm done.
But as far as, I learned about this letter a few days ago, and I understand all the papers, or two of them at least got it. I don't know how many got it, but I know two did. And I'm against everything it says, and there's nothing other than the letter. The guy sitting back there working on the letter, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. I climbed all over steel and everything else, worked at the plant for 41 years, and I didn't think nothing was wrong with it. Tommy approved it, and Tommy is the boss over the police force, and Richard Wagner is over water and sewer, and the rest of us go to either one of them if there's something wrong. And if they can't handle it, they'll come to me and ask me. But I have no authority to fire or hire anybody. It has to go through the council. I have no power unless 3 of the council members will vote in my favor. And as far as another thing that bothers me about this is you're accusing me of having a voice recording on the 3 different meetings that you had. You had come in 3 different times. You had one of me and Tommy, and
A voice recording, where does it say anything about the voice recording?
it says on the 3rd page here.
No, it says no, you need to read that again, Mr. Mayor.
No, it
It's not
says if
accused,
there have been
if there has
any.
been.
Well,
And that was the meeting between Tommy
well,
and the chief. and
I've got the floor now. I told you asked me to hush, so you hush. And I read it that way, and you said I reserve the right to those recordings. Why would I want to record anything for anybody? All the recording is right there, and it's being recorded right now, and I'll stand behind what I say, and I will not be intimidated into anything on this at all. And why did the papers, I'm nothing against the papers now, but why did the papers have to get something like this to start with? They won't print it, because it's a liability. And I talked to our lawyer, and she told me to handle it the way I felt like, and that there was, you could holler, there's no chain of command, but there's no company or corporation or city or nothing that somebody's appointed to be boss over a group of men, and then everybody in the council run down there and tell them what to do. And that's just the way I feel about it. Now, I'll open up the floor to Tommy if he has something to say.
The biggest thing that I want to say is, I don't see where Rusty says that he's not being listened to. The paint job was shut down, and I told the chief of police, when he found a construction outfit, it had the equipment to do it properly, to get it done. And I don't understand where Rusty's coming from saying that he ain't being heard. I don't understand Rusty. And the other thing, when I told the chief of police to get that painted, when he talked to the man about that was going to do the painting, he told him to paint up as far as he could with a brush and get a roller. Am I stating that right?
Yes, sir.
To get a roller and finish it. And listen, I'm not trying to throw no rocks at you, but what happened was, according to what he told me, was he was gonna let you do it the way you wanted to do it. Is that more or less right?
Yeah, well, that's why I couldn't done it. Well, I was comfortable.
Excuse me, hold on, excuse me.
Wait a minute, hold it.
I gave him the authority to
This
speak
man's
in
out
my
of order.
place.
If he's gonna be testifying to something, you need to put him under oath. We need
We're just discussing, we're not
Okay.
under oath, none of us is under, was you under oath when you got up and
No,
stalled?
sir, but that should have started the process, yes.
Well, why should I
You
do
have
this?
stepped on this charter long and hard enough. It plainly states in this charter what is to be done. The mayor is the mayor, and we are councilmen. We are a strong council and a weak mayor. We are a team. If we're not a team, you need to tell me. And it says in here that if I see something, I am empowered to correct it. And that's exactly what I tried to do by calling that man.
You done it, the job is shut down.
But then, when the chief and I hung up from our conversation, it was over. Until you called me on Saturday morning and left a message on the Labor Day weekend when I'm up at the lake with family and friends. Hang on. You called me at 10 o'clock wanting to meet with us.
I've got the floor, what are you doing standing there?
Yeah.
You asked me a question. You want me to answer it or not?
No, sit down.
Okay. I'll finish in a minute. Go ahead.
Does he give you a problem?
He was pestering me for about 6 months. Yes, sir, on different occasions. Yes, sir. And I am man enough to tell you to your face. Don't go behind your back
That's
doing
why
all
we're here.
this. Yes, sir,
That's why we're here.
to our face.
And
Thank you.
I'm following protocol.
Yes, sir. You'll see I have also.
Okay, Rusty, I give you the permission for the floor if you want to get up and make a motion to have him forward. Is that what you want?
Fellas, I've asked you to be fair about this. That's all I've asked you.
I've asked you a question, do you want to get up and, or you don't have to get up and make a motion for him?
This charter, as I was gonna say, gives me the authority to correct anything goes wrong here that I see wrong. Hold on.
We corrected it.
Hold on. And you called me on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, left me a message. I'm gonna have a meeting with the policemen at the police department. At 7 o'clock on Saturday evening, you called me Saturday morning to have that meeting.
Well, you didn't have to come.
Wait a minute, you asked me if I'd come. Out of a courtesy, I said,
Volunteer.
sure, I'll be there. So,
He volunteered to do
wait a
it.
minute, you said.
No,
I'll be
you
there.
ain't got the floor, I've got the floor.
You relinquished the floor to me, correct?
No, just to make a motion is all, not to get up and preach to us.
I'm telling you,
No, you're not.
you called a meeting.
Call him to order.
No.
You called a meeting, an illegal meeting, on a holiday weekend.
Mayor,
He asked you if you wanted to make a motion.
I'll make the motion that we dismiss the chief of police.
Do I have a second? Motion fails for lack of a second.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I enjoy motion to adjourn, a second to motion to adjourn,
Second.
Second.
it's gone. Meeting's over.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. And thank you.
Just business.
That's it. Amen.
Oh, we can go sit down.
Later.